Alright guys, I had quite a few questions after my last video of kind of a little more detailed explanation, or wanting one I should say, of just kind of how this template works and how I'm building these sets. So I just want to take a few minutes and show you how I would build one song in this template that we've been using. I will say though as well that there truly is no right or wrong way to really use Ableton once you have some of the foundational stuff kind of under the belt. So Ableton can really do anything. A lot of DJs use it. Obviously, people in the church really use it a lot. I'm a drummer, so I love using it because I'm the one who makes most of our sets for our Sunday morning services, and really all of our other ones as well. So I just like using it a ton. It's been really good and quite the challenge. So take what we're doing here with like a grain of salt, because like I said, there is no wrong way to use it. Some people love session view, some love arrangement view. Personally, right now, I've been really into arrangement view, so that's what I've been using. And also, I built this template and I built these songs with a drummer in mind because we're the ones who are running it. So maybe you're a keyboard player or you're leading from the front, so this might look a little bit different for you, but hopefully this gives you a decent foundation of a place to start. Okay, the first thing I'll say is that it's super important that you have things organized as far as your content. So I organize by a folder that will say the Sunday and the Sunday date that we're going to use. And then when I open this up, I have my custom mixes and I have my actual tracks right here. And then I'll save everything in the same folder under a project file. And that way, when I go to drag the set into a different computer, all the content's already inside of that project file. It makes life a lot easier. So first I'll start off with my CM, or custom mix. So for sake of example, we're going to do Lion and the Lamb by Bethel, very popular song right now. The first thing I do is I always drag this in, and you'll see I have it labeled here already. Lion and the Lamb, BPM is 90, the key is A, and it's a custom mix. So now I know what the BPM is going to be, which is key whenever you decide to do warping, which most people end up doing because it's easier to change keys and all that kind of stuff. So first thing I'll do, I'll warp. Now, I already have it set to 90 because I have this thing here called a tempo track that I found online via Will Doggett. And this tempo track is such a humongous help because when I save this song as an Ableton set so I can use the song later on down the road, this tempo track keeps my tempo automated to the same BPM. So I'm not redoing automation every single time I drag this into a new Sunday morning set. And the way that works is, you see here, when I tap on audio, there's an option here to do what's called master or slave. If I make this my master, I'm telling Ableton, hey, follow this tempo here. Whatever this BPM is, I want you to follow it. So if I make this 110 beats per minute, and I reset this, you'll see now this is going to change to, let me see here. Oh, there it goes. I didn't have it selected. So it will change to 110 automatically. So if I'm playing the song, now it's 110 BPM. But if I want it slower, I hit 90. I reset, master slave, now it's 90 BPM. So this here makes Ableton follow it, which again is just so helpful and so easy to do. There's actually no audio at all in this tempo track. I'll try and include a link for the track and how I found out how to make it. It's super easy, but it's been a humongous lifesaver. Okay, from there what I usually do is I usually drag in our click. I use Foundations as my main click. It's a great MIDI click. It's super flexible and it's a very consistent sound. Now, if you listened earlier, there's already a click built into this multi-track. 1, 2. This was made before our church really started getting this involved with Ableton, so this multi-track, he already included the click. But I still like having Foundations on top of it because it just creates a more consistent sound overall. So what you have to do is you have to drag this for the length of the clip that you're going to use. So I'm going to drag this for the duration. Zoom in a little more here, make sure things are nice and even. I like things looking really just neat and clean. It's just a pet peeve of mine. I'll go back to the beginning here, and now I have this click. 1, 2. Now, if you hear that, it's a little off. 2. Just a tad bit. If I look here at Lion and the Lamb, and I look at this track by selecting here, you'll see if I go to the very, very beginning, that if I zoom way in, I'm actually starting here when I should really be starting at the first one. Not hard to fix. You just double tap here or double click, and you get a warp marker Then you can right click and hit set 1-1 from here. This is going to give it a little more on the money.
1, 2.
Much better.
1, 2.
Now you really can't distinguish the 2 clicks. And you can just scroll ahead here. I'm going to zoom out a little bit. You can zoom out and you can see how every click is really on that grid, really glued to it now, which is really nice. That's really what you want. All right, cool. Now that that's done, I can bring this back down. I always set here, you can do different types of warping. I like doing complex. It's just a smoother warping for audio tracks, especially full length. I always double check. Things sound good. Now I want to create my guide track. You just highlight here, right click, insert MIDI clip. This is going to be a blank MIDI clip. That's all this is, but you can label it whatever you want. So the beginning is the intro. I'll just go through the song like this.
1,
This is still
2, 3,
intro.
4.
Intro. So I'm going to make this actually my count.
Intro.
That's really what this is. And I'm just doing Command R to rename this stuff.
Intro.
So intro goes long. I'll drag it for the duration of the intro. Just kind of skip ahead here.
Intro.
Still intro. So I'll just follow this all the way down until it's all complete. Whatever the guide says here is what I'm going to put in this part. So again, it's just helpful as a drummer. I have it right in my booth. I can look at this. I make this because it's easier for me just to know where we're at in the song in case I get lost for some reason. It's just easy to do. So for sake of time, I'm not going to do the whole song, but that's what I usually do for that. Finally, the most difficult thing I think is getting the MP3 to sync up nice and neat to this multi-track. And the reason why I like having the MP3 in here is because when we're practicing, it's super easy to reference. It's not hard at all. So let me drag this into the MP3 slot. Now, if I play it, it's probably not going to be on. No, not even close. So let me go to my, where is it? There we go. First thing I do is I usually lower this a little bit, like -10 or something. So it's always hotter than the actual multi-track. Now I have to find where this starts. So usually I look for where the drum intro is, because that's where the intro is. So this is the drums, I think, here. Yep. So now I have to find where this starts in the loop. So what I can do, let me just get rid of some of this emptiness. So I'm going to mute this for a second.
Intro. Intro.
I think my intro for drums is over on this second one here. So if I just drag this over, I'm going to just try and line this up as nice as possible. I'm going to zoom in a little more. Let's see if this works.
Intro.
Oops. Unmuting it would be nice.
Intro.
That's right in the pocket. Now I'll let this play out so I know that the verse is synced up as well.
Intro. Verse.
Right there, right where it needs to be. So now things are synced up. And you notice because I'm at the same native BPM, I don't even have to have this part warped, but I want it warped, and I'll tell you why. Let's say that I want it in a different key. Well, if I transpose this track has to be warped. So if I go up here, now it's gonna be up an octave. It's gonna sound real ugly, but you'll hear it. So now I can transpose whatever key I want without changing the actual speed of the song. If this isn't warped and I do this, the song's slower. Let me turn off this click real quick. You can hear it. See? So warping is what you want to do to keep things nice and even. So I'm going to put this back down to 0 where it needs to be. I'm going to warp it correctly because you always have to start with where it's warping natively. And now it doesn't matter where I transpose it. Same tempo. So that's why I do that. All right, so that's kind of the basic overview of how I make these sets and how I start anyway. I always start with the first song. I always have a marker. I usually always right click and just rename it to the actual song. That way I have it. And that's what I do. So any questions, please leave it in the comments and I'll be glad to answer them. And thanks for watching this video.